Energy sector suffering from lack of marketing. Government payments to be digitised. And grade 8 exams begin countrywide.
This is National EMTV News with Helen Sayer.
Good evening and thank you for joining me for Monday's news. The energy sector in Papua New Guinea has been missing out on significant investment opportunities because of a lack of marketing. Minister for Petroleum and Energy Nixon Duban made the remarks when announcing the launch of PNG's inaugural Petroleum and Energy Summit. The summit, which will be held in early 2017, will create a platform to enable PNG to showcase its hydrocarbon reserves and opportunities in the energy sector to be marketed to the international markets.
Minister Duban was with the Managing Director of Kumul Petroleum Holdings, Wapu Song, when he announced the inaugural PNG Petroleum and Energy Summit. The two-day summit will be held in Port Moresby from the 28th of February to the 1st of March 2017. The focus of the summit will be to gain access to the PNG energy market and key international stakeholders.
We believe that PNG has not been marketed properly. So this event will bring most participants around the world for the first time. We know that our country has undergone a lot of explorations, which have been also hit hard by the declining oil prices. We feel that the time is right for the world to understand this country's prospects and potential. Our ability to market Papua New Guinea can only be better when we have international friends being present in our country.
The summit will be co-hosted by the Ministry and Department of Petroleum and Energy and the Kumul Petroleum Holdings. It will be organized by the CWC Group, an international conference and training company with extensive experience in hosting government-led oil and gas summits and LNG conferences around the globe. KPH Managing Director Wapu Song said the Petroleum and Energy Summit is the first ever industry-related summit to be undertaken in the country.
Energy has been neglected for a long time, so it's about time we talk about oil and gas, hydrocarbon and energy as well. There's different sources of energy and PNG's got all kinds of potential. Hydro, geothermal, wind, solar, all forms of energy that we have not fully exploited. So this conference gives an opportunity for us to talk about all the different schemes, different opportunities that are available to potential investors.
The summit will be made up of interactive discussions which will help shape the country's energy sector moving forward. The CWC Group School of Energy will also be involved in the summit through running training courses for the attendees to educate the local and international attendees. Delhi Waigeno, National EMTV News.
Head of the Asian Development Bank in PNG, Marcelo Mink, says the upgrade of airports in the country is one of the top priority projects of ADB. In a recent interview with EMTV, Mr. Mink said airports are the key entry points to the world. Mink said it's not just the facelift, but providing a reliable, safer and efficient transport service for the country.
The Civil Aviation Development Investment Program, or CADIP, was developed and adopted by the government to revitalize and maintain the country's civil aviation network, mainly the 22 national airports. ADB Country Director Marcelo Mink says PNG is developing and the CADIP project is to ensure PNG airports comply with international civil aviation safety and security standards.
And in this case, civil aviation is not a luxury like in some other countries, but is a need to connect the people of the different parts and to move also goods and services. Now, through this project, we will make sure that the country and the airspace will remain open by making sure that all aircrafts can be able to land and take off and operate in the national airports.
Progress has been made in Tranche 1 of the program. Boram Airport in Wewak, Hoskins in West New Britain, Gani in Milne Bay, Kagamuga in Western Highlands, and the Jackson's domestic terminal in Port Moresby. Kavieng and Goroka will also see facelifts. Others include Girwa in Northern and Aropa in the autonomous region of Bougainville. In the recent development forum, Prime Minister Peter O'Neill maintained that the understanding between the government and ADB will ensure the desired objective is achieved.
We're able to roll out the ADB program, which is really upgrading our airports throughout many of the provincial towns into a better, higher standard of facilities, including the runways and the security aspect of it, and of course the terminals and the facilities that we are building.
Stakeholders in the CADIP project include the National Airports Corporation, CASA and PNGS Service Limited. ADB is providing a loan of nearly 90 million kina for the Trench 2 program. Jack Lapave Jr., National EMTV News.
The Treasury Department and Bank of Papua New Guinea are assisting the government to digitize all government payments and make markets more accessible. Since November 2015, they have led a financial services sector review project throughout the country. It ended last Friday in Mount Hagen when they presented their proposed financial sector development strategy to stakeholders.
The Financial Sector Development Strategy, or FSDS, covers 4 broad topics. They are capital market development, payment system development, financial inclusion program, and regulatory arrangements.
So the government would like to see that all these areas can be improved, coordination can be improved, collaboration can be improved. So there'll be a lot more communication between the regulators as well.
The government, through BPNG and Treasury, are finding a way forward to open up or free the government bond market or the liquidity to enable a two-way market. Currently, commercial banks and super funds hold market shares. This review will develop a local equity so that ordinary citizens or corporate organizations can buy and sell market shares. There will be opportunity to expand the market by listing some public enterprises such as the ownership of Port Moresby Stock Exchange, corporate governance and reporting to the public.
The purpose is to look at the current situation and with the changes and the economic activity within PNG, look at what can we do more to improve the sector.
They are also in the process of shifting some government payments to automated payments and not government checks. A new system that was introduced recently is called CATS. CATS has assisted BPNG and Treasury, eliminating unscrutinized check payments and money laundering. CATS has helped manage cash flows of large payments and has cut down the number of days to make clearance from 11 days to 3 or 4 days. However, check payments will still be recognized as a mechanism of payments.
So that system is available now. So we would like to see those who deal with large payments, like teachers department, education department. We'd like to see if they can digitize some of those payments now.
A forum of Financial Service Council will be created for the implementation of financial sector development strategy. It will be comprised of all the regulatory bodies and agencies. The next step is to present the strategy to the Treasury Minister to be tabled in Parliament. Vasenata Yama, National EMTV News, Mount Hagen.
Key officers from the country's 3 main disciplinary forces are working on watershed legislation, which they plan to table in Parliament. The legislation involves the functions and operations of the newly incorporated Joint Services College, a college established to train officers from all 3 disciplinary forces. The workshop is being conducted at the CS Training College in Bomana. It will end on Friday.
The legislation will have a holistic approach on law and order and national security. It involves officers from the Royal Papua New Guinea Constabulary, the PNG Defence Force and Correctional Services. The training commandants of the 3 disciplinary colleges are key officers participating in the drafting of this legislation.
an appropriate legislative framework that articulates the establishment of the institution, the structure of the institution, both management and operational, and the funding requirements. Where is the funding going to come from and how it's going to be funded. It's important we need to do that because like all institutions of the state, it has to be established by legislation.
The Joint Forces Training is a government initiative to train future leaders or cadets from the 3 security institutions. It was revived in February this year to provide the best security to the government, the people, resources and investments in the country. The first workshop was held in Lace Igam Barracks in March. Police Commissioner Gary Baki and CS Commissioner Michael Waipo underwent similar training in the 1990s.
We did it because of the agency for us to establish that institution. Without going through and establishing the requisite policy document that articulates exactly why is that institution there, what is it going to be delivering, and how it's going to be managed.
This joint training is part of the government's Vision 2050. It developed after the Office of the Chief Secretary saw that there was lack of coordination and cooperation amongst security agencies in the country. The Defence Force Academy in Ley will be used as the training ground for this exercise. The legislation will be tabled in Parliament during the first Parliament sitting in 2017. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
PNG Power has advised that load shedding will be carried out for an indefinite period in the Gazelle electricity system in East New Britain. This is due to the low inflow of water into the Warangoi hydropower station. The load shedding will continue for an indefinite period until the Warangoi hydro generation capacity is restored. The company says a load shedding schedule will be published in the 2 daily newspapers tomorrow for consumers' information. For further information, customers have been advised to contact the Kokopo 24 Hours call center on 982-8403 or 982-9105. You're at National EMTV News. We'll be back with the first day of Grade 8 examinations and more. Stay tuned. Welcome back. Grade 8 national examinations officially began today with over 10,000 students in the country sitting for their written expression paper. EMTV spoke to several Grade 8 students in Port Moresby after their first paper. Eric Harupma with this report.
Grade 8 students throughout Papua New Guinea sat for their written expression paper for the first time after 8 years of primary education. In the nation's capital, students turned out in numbers, freely said their experiences about the first paper. Some felt a bit nervous, but were able to manage and complete the paper in time.
The first day was, quite nervous and panic. But now, when the first day comes and go, tomorrow and onwards we'll sit with confidence.
Others said they have no difficulty in answering the questions because of taking up remedial classes and doing mock exams.
I made it through and I did it well, I think so.
I really enjoyed writing it. I gave my very best, and I believe that I did it well.
It was fine. I would say it's quite simple.
All the students we spoke to were happy and looking forward to the other exams which are scheduled during the week. Eric Harupma, National EMTV News.
With the start of Grade 8 examinations today, East Sepik Province is hoping for good results. Over the years, the province has struggled to improve its rankings in basic education. While progress is being made in some districts, education officials say there is an imbalance of education opportunities in the province.
The imbalance is attributed to geography of the province and the fact that there is still no education plan for the province.
Seem to have more education opportunities for our children on one side of the province, and the other district is sort of disadvantaged in that sense.
In 2010, Isipik province was listed as one of the 5 least performing provinces after the results of the grade 8 examinations was tallied in the country.
But last year, 2015, Namibia kalapin governor moyet, Namibia of Panim, antapik long half long despla long Papua New Guinea. So education quality of learning blor pigini blomble yoklong move na yoklong increase gonna.
A strong government partner in education in the province is the churches, and in 2 AUG agency schools, they are prepared for the coming examinations.
They're really enthusiastic to sit for the exam because we have very hardworking officers, Mr. Nangufari, Miss Monusa, who are the 2 grade 8 teachers. Plus other grade 7 and myself, we have stepped in to assist them.
For Muji Primary School, also in Yanguru Sausia district, in order to maintain quality education, they have strived to ensure their teacher-to-student ratio remains at 1:25 and are confident that their grade 8 students are prepared for this week.
We in Yanguru Sausia want to be the best in education for Isipik, because we realize we have to compete. By the time our kids get up to grade 12, we have to compete with 25,000. And to compete with 25,000, we must be the best in Isipik in order to compete with the rest of the country.
Sarah Aupong, National EMTV News.
A Tongan man is amongst 123 students graduating from the Australia Pacific Technical College in Port Moresby. Of the 123, 28 are women. These students will receive certificates in commercial cooking, fabrication trade and youth work, amongst others. APTC is a technical institution with sister colleges in other Pacific countries and provides 12 technical courses. The graduation ceremony will be on Wednesday. The body of a discarded fetus was found this morning at the Erima Bridge in Port Moresby. According to residents in the area, the body was in a bag when it was discovered by children who were playing in the area. Residents said the children were playing when they saw a man dump a bag under the bridge. The children, curious, went to retrieve the bag after the man had left. It was then that they discovered the body of an underdeveloped baby boy that was still covered in blood as it lay in the bag. The body was later removed by the Criminal Investigation Division, who are investigating. The NCD Metropolitan Superintendent is yet to give an official comment on this matter. The body of a man in his mid-20s was found late this afternoon by members of the lay public. Police were called to the Lay Botanical Garden to retrieve the body. Martha Lewis reports from Lay.
At around 4 p.m. this afternoon, traffic in Lay came to a standstill after the body of a man, believed to be in his 20s, was found just inside the Lay Botanical Garden premises. Police were alerted and went to the scene to keep onlookers away from the crime scene before the Criminal Investigation Division arrived to retrieve the body. CID detectives were accompanied to the scene moments later with medical officers who took the body to Engau's Hospital morgue. EMTV was at the scene. The young man looked to have been bitten by blunt objects on the head. Police are now investigating. Martha Lewis, National EMTV News, Lay.
And now looking at our finance news, the kina closed unchanged at $0.3155 US in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3080 US, $0.4019 Australian dollars, $0.2799 euro and 31.64 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, gold closed lower while coffee, cocoa and copra closed the day higher. Palm oil closed higher while crude oil and copper closed the day lower. And on the stock market, the Dow Jones closed at 16.64 points lower, the ASX is trading at 24.32 points lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 27.15 points lower. Here at Monday's News, we have a local church reaching a decade of service and news making headlines overseas. Don't go away. Welcome back to the news. The West Papuan refugee communities in Port Moresby were thankful recipients of a church's goodwill efforts. A group from the St. Joseph's Catholic Church delivered household items to various organizations and groups around the city as part of the church's activity to mark the Year of Mercy in the Catholic Church calendar.
Under the Year of Mercy activities, the BCC4 group from St. Joseph's were told to harbour the homeless, and the West Papuan refugees were one of the groups that they visited.
Let God continue to bless us, bless all those people are here, and we wish a wonderful, a bright future for West Papuan, and we promise that they are not alone in their journey. We are always ready to help. In the name of God, the name of Jesus Christ, in the name of St. Joseph Parish Community.
The donation program to the West Papuans was facilitated by the youth group Sarang Burung Project.
From the youths and the mothers, we would like to say thank you, and thank you again.
While the St. Joseph's congregation was the main donor, other groups such as the Indian and Sri Lankan community in Port Moresby also assisted, and the CPL group through one of their employees. Leader of the Rainbow West Papuan group, Freddie Waromi, while thanking the church and the others for the donations, also congratulated Archbishop Sir John Ribat on his appointment as Cardinal.
These blessings to Father Ribat is a blessing for us West Papuans too, because Father Ribat is the man who always spoke out about West Papuan issue in media and in anywhere he want to talk. And also Catholic Bishop Conference for Papua New Guinea and Solomon Island. They spoke about West Papuan issue, and they want MSG countries to include West Papua as a permanent member in MSG countries.
Sarah Aupong, National MTV News.
A Lutheran Church of a local level government in Moresby province has reached a decade of service. Gobadik Lutheran Church of Nabak LLG in Nawai district celebrated its 10-year anniversary yesterday. The church was established in 1975 and was reconstructed in 1996 through community initiative. The congregation of the church raised more than 30,000 kina to build its building in 1996. Since then, the church continued to serve its purpose through the support of the community. Moresby provincial government assisted the church with funding during the ceremony. The funds will help the church leaders in carrying out their responsibilities. Turning overseas, Mexico's Colima volcano has erupted twice last Tuesday, spewing plumes of ash and smoke into the sky. Volcanic activities have continued since the October 1st eruption. Last Tuesday's eruption saw a first eruption take place at 10 a.m. local time, followed by a second explosion at 12 past 12 p.m., which reached a height of 2,000 meters.
The volcano is located between western Mexico, between the states of Colima and Jalisco, and is one of the countries and Central America's most active. The 3,800-meter volcano has increased in activity this month. According to website volcanodiscovery.com, increased activity at the volcano is due to the growth of a new lava dome. The Colima volcano, also known as the Fire Volcano, is part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. Mexico has more than 3,000 volcanoes, but only 14 are considered active. Since the October 1st eruption, Mexico's Chief of National Emergency Services, Luis Felipe Puente, said some 350 villagers living in the shadow of the volcano had been evacuated to a nearby shelter. Colima, also known as Fuego or Fire, has had more than 30 periods of eruption since 1585, including several significant eruptions in the late 1990s. Scientific monitoring of the volcano began only 20 years ago. Activity at the volcano continues, but its intensity has decreased over the past week. Members of Colima University recently sampled the lava flow in order to investigate its chemical properties, which might give a clue to explain the recent effusive phase of the volcano, which came very suddenly and was very fast. In particular, it would be interesting to see if the new lava is different from the lavas of July last year, or if it also is relatively rich in dissolved water that helps explain the fast rise of the magma column. Lorraine Gabina, EMTV World News.
Oscar winner Leonardo DiCaprios' charitable foundation would return gifts or donations made to him or his ventures if they were found to have come from Malaysian wealth fund 1MDB, which is being investigated on money laundering allegations, his representative said last week. In his first comment on the multinational probe into the fund, DiCaprio said he was cooperating with U.S. authorities to determine if money had come from questionable sources.
In July, a Hollywood production company was accused in a U.S. civil lawsuit of using $100 million that prosecutors said had been diverted from the 1MDM fund to finance DiCaprio's 2013 film The Wolf of Wall Street, in which he starred. In a statement on Tuesday, DiCaprio's representative said he had first learned of the probe through press reports in July. The production company, Red Granite Pictures, has said that to its knowledge, none of the money it received was illegitimate and that it had done nothing wrong. The Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, set up in 1998, supports a range of environmental projects. In August, The Hollywood Reporter published a story alleging that the actor's foundation had benefited to the tune of some $2 million from cash and in-kind donations made by a Malaysian financier who was named in the U.S. lawsuit as being involved in the creation of the 1MDM fund. The actor, who won an Oscar in 2016 for his role in The Revenant, is also a United Nations climate change messenger of peace, but he has come under pressure from some environmental activists to step down from the role following the 1MDM scandal. DiCaprio's representative said in Tuesday's statement that he had refrained from speaking about the matter until now out of respect for the ongoing investigation, which has touched many charities, hospitals and individuals who may have been unwitting recipients of funds now in question. Vanessa Knight, EMTV World News.
Here at National EMTV News, we have Chukai Sports up next. Don't go away.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome to Chukai Sports. In cricket, after success in their two-match ODI series win over Namibia, the ADB PNG Barmandis now turn their sights towards Hong Kong. Cruising to an easy target of 213, the Barmandis wasted no time against a Namibian side looking for redemption after their I-Cup loss were unable to contain the home side's swift attack.
Opting to bat after winning the toss, Namibia had been hoping for a better performance after Friday's first ODI loss.
But they'll be looking to get a bit more than the 270 total that they accrued in Game 1.
This, however, wasn't to be, as the Barramundi's fielding stepped up a notch with good bowling figures from Norman Vanua and Willie Gavera, with skipper Asad Vala also grabbing a wicket.
This could be a run at first ball hit. He's out. He's gone.
Whilst Namibia had expected to reach 300, they faltered early, 2 wickets in 2 overs. And that poor start continued throughout the match.
Wicket down. Beautifully bowled by Mahudai. Well done, Andrew.
The Barramundis in reply stabilised throughout their own innings at the crease, and victory was all assured with only an over to go. Captain Asad Vala is hoping that this will place them in good stead as they hope to qualify for World Cup fixtures soon.
We have to, celebrate the victories, about 3 victories for the 3 wins, but we got a big tournament coming up against Hong Kong. We got to go back and work out on our game as well. We got 3 important games against Hong Kong in a couple of weeks' time. So back to training for us and refocus again for the next one.
The majority of the Barramundis players feature for local sides in the nation's capital, And Vice President of the ITI Moresby Cricket Association, Dean Arnie, expressed satisfaction over their performances.
And particularly all the Baramani boys playing there, all from ITI Cricket Association, and that comes down to all the clubs to be more professionally, to run the clubs and to look after the welfare of the players, and we want to do that, and that's always what we always want to be doing, and we want to thank Cricket PNG as well for coming on board and giving the support.
Gracious in defeat, Namibia captain Cyril Berger was also full of praise for the hosts.
I think the wicket played good, but credit once again goes to PNG. They chased it down quite easily, and they looked like a well set up batting unit.
The result places Papua New Guinea at the top of the ICC World Cricket League Championships table, equal in 12 points with the Netherlands. Jeremy Moggy, National, EMTV Sports.
Police Commissioner Gary Baki has called on the public to make security their responsibility during the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup to be held next month. Commissioner Baki said it's the first time that PNG is hosting such an international sporting event, and the country's image lies on how the people support the tournament.
Commissioner Baki said, like the Pacific Games, security belongs to everyone and it is everyone's responsibility. He added that the people of Papua New Guinea are the only people that can stand up to the world and tell them that PNG is a united independent country and that our image rests on how we support the FIFA tournament.
I would encourage every Papua New Guinean, and FIFA is going to be played at a time when we will be in a lot of young Papua New Guineans, particularly students, will be on holidays. So I would encourage that a lot of them come and watch FIFA, but a lot of them must also play their part in terms of ensuring that what we portray to the wider nation, the global population, gives to show that this is Papua New Guinea and this is who we are.
The Commissioner further stated that the tournament will be held when school students are on holiday and encouraged the students and the public to go watch the tournament. The Security Operations Order has had input from the National Intelligence Office and other security partners to ensure the safety and security of the fans, international media and teams that will be in Port Moresby during the 3-week tournament. The first phase of the 3-phase operation commences at the end of the month, where close to 200 police women officers will be participating in the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup security operations. Shane Saroya, National EMTV Sports.
PNG women's football must look beyond the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup in Port Moresby. PNG coach Lisa Cole made these comments as the team fine-tuned their last preparation in Goroka before they depart to New Zealand this Thursday. PNG is placed in a tough draw against Brazil, Sweden and South Korea. Cole said PNG will need to be very organized and patient in defense and try to keep these games close and to look to steal points. The Americans said the goal is to keep the scoreline close for as long as possible to frustrate their opponents and force them to change their game plan. Meanwhile, she has instructed her charges to work hard and make their opponents work to earn victories. On a journey encouraging the development of women's football and promote the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup, FIFA's Live Your Goals Legacy program made a stop on the weekend in Kimbe, West New Britain province. The event was attended by students from over 10 community schools with the support of their parents and teachers.
400 girls decked out in pink hit the field at Kimbe Academy over the weekend to take part in Live Your Goals program, where they got a chance to meet Susa, the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup official mascot. The day was filled with a lot of activities, where no fewer than 10 schools and 1 community in Kimbe were in attendance, some of whom had played football since a young age. Others, meanwhile, were about to kick the ball for the first time in their lives. All of them had one thing in common, the love for the beautiful game of football. Present at the tournament to watch young girls take part were parents. Amongst them was former football player Josephine YY, who represented PNG during her career in football between late 1980s.
2012, when I first came here, we haven't really been seeing school soccer or children playing, especially females. And so for the rest of us in Kimbe, we are honored and privileged that at least Live Your Goals has come here to Kimbe.
At the end of the one-day event, Miss YY thanked PNGFA and FIFA for bringing the Live Your Goals to Kimbe.
saying it has given parents and people of West New Britain the opportunity to see their girls take part in football at an early age, so they can become very good soccer players in the future.
Most of us, although we reached the national level, we started playing soccer late. But now at this time, in this time now, to watch girls at a very young age, for us, we know that likewise in the international scene, at least we know that our girls can be able to play at the most competitive level in the coming years.
The festival in Kimbe may have drawn to a close, but for the young participants, the football journey continues. They will return home with new skills, new friends who share the same passion, wonderful memories to treasure, and dream they can set their sights on achieving. Shane Soroya, National EMTV Sports.
You're with Chukai Sports. 5 new inductees into the PNG Sports Hall of Fame. That story and more when we come back. Stay tuned.
Chukai Sports.
Welcome back to Chukai Sports. PNG Kumals and Canberra Raiders recruit Kato Otio flew back to Australia yesterday after spending time with his family in Port Moresby. Otio is recovering from a knee injury he picked up in the weeks leading up to the New South Wales Cup finals. The 22-year-old says his focus now is on rehab because his doctors gave him 7 months, which will see him sidelined for most of the season. However, the former PNG Hunters back rower is keen on making a speedy recovery and be available for the Kumals next year. The 191-centimetre tall winger was the top try scorer in the 2016 New South Wales Cup season with 28 tries, but have yet to make an A-grade appearance. It has been a struggle for Otio, but his plans to impress Raiders coach Ricky Stewart for a place in the top level has not deteriorated. Otio's 2-year contract will end next year. The PNG Olympic Committee announced today that 5 new names will be inducted into the PNG Sports Hall of Fame. Whilst the 5 former athletes were not revealed, they come from the sports of swimming, athletics, boxing and weightlifting.
Their endeavours made them champions, time made them legends, and they are now on the verge of being immortalised in the PNG Sport Hall of Fame. This is the second Hall of Fame induction by the PNG Olympic Committee, the first held in 2011, and Olympic Committee Secretary General Alvita Rapila ecstatic at the announcement.
We've been blessed with many talented sportsmen and women over the years, and they have made outstanding contribution to PNG through their sporting endeavours and given us many memorable moments. So through their participation and achievements, these athletes united our country, our people, through pride, joy, and the memories.
The first Hall of Fame was held as part of the Olympic Committee's 50th anniversary celebrations, and the first 2 inductees were Sir John Caputin and Edward Laboran, both of whom were members of the first team from the territory of Papua and New Guinea to the British Empire Games, now called the Commonwealth Games.
And the Hall of Fame immortalizes our sports, great sportsmen and women, and holds their place in history for generations to know and obviously to inspire our up-and-coming sportsmen and women.
The induction ceremony will be held on the 26th of November, with the committee hoping to gather all 5 to be present for the event. Jeremy Moggy, National EMTV Sports.
To hockey, Port Moresby Hockey Association ended their preliminary finals over the weekend at the Sir John Guy Stadium. In the women's division, Seagulls went up against minor premiers Bismarck, who triumphed 2-0, securing the first spot in the grand final. In the first men's preliminary final, Blades thrashed Bismarck 4-0. In the second women's preliminary final, Sunam fought all throughout the match to beat Wanderers 3-2. And in the last match in the men's preliminary final, Sunam beat Wanderers 2-0. The Port Moresby Hockey Grand Final will be played this weekend between Bismarck and Sunam in the women's division, while in the men's, Blades will take on Sunam. PNGRL will be pushing to have more test matches in coming years. They feel there are not enough test matches for Papua New Guinea and are calling on the Rugby League International Federation to be more proactive in organizing such matches.
This is a concern that will be raised when PNGRL chairman and Isaka goes for the Rugby League International Federation annual general meeting later this month.
I think one of the key things will be the international game. We feel that there are not enough international games. Rugby League International Federation needs to.
He called on the Rugby League International Federation to step up in organizing test matches and used the Melanesian Cup as an example to back his statement.
The Vodafone Cup and Digital Cup, the Rugby League International Federation, we just got it to bless it because there was not happening. It was actually, we at the PNGRL, we came up with that concept, we sold it to them, and now they've taken carriage of it and going. So we're encouraging Rugby League International Federation to become more proactive.
There are different types of test matches. A test match can be a second-tier team from PNG playing another second-tier from any country, like the Melanesian Cup. The PM's 13 match can be classified as a test match, one sanction, or a Kumul's test match which involves PNG's elite rugby league players. Saka says the RLIF has to come up with an international window to allow PNG's elite players to take part in more test matches.
So when we get that blessing, Super League and NRL know that they have to release their players. So we have our best players available to play those test matches. So those issues will raise.
Other issues will be raised at the RLIF AGM, like the eligibility rule for PNG players and also an international format for Rugby League Nines.
The discussions will also center around the 2017 World Cup, introducing an international format for Rugby League Nines. It's a brand that needs to grow, and actually strengthening women's game. We can't talk about rugby league as a sport if we are not, gender sensitized or gender inclusive.
Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
And that's a wrap for Trukai Sports. After the break, your weather for the next 24 hours. Stay tuned for that.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Looking at the weather forecast for tonight and tomorrow in the southern region, chances of afternoon evening showers in Port Moresby and Kerema, mostly fine and sunny in Daru, thundery showers in Alotau and chances of afternoon showers in Popondetta. In the Momasi region, chances of afternoon showers in Ley, mostly fine and sunny in Medang, Wewak and Vanimo. In the New Guinea Islands region, mostly fine in Lorengau and Kimbe, fine then brief showers tonight in Kavieng, chances of brief thundery showers by afternoon in Kokopo and Rubao and a shower or two in Buka. And in the Highlands region, chances of afternoon showers in all centres.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield. Worth doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a recap of our main stories for tonight. Energy sector suffering from lack of marketing and promotion. Government payments to be digitized, and grade 8 exams begin countrywide. And that's the news, sports and weather for tonight. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Helen Seah. Pleasant viewing. Good night.